Hello there. The UK must be ready to do whatever it takes to protect its newly regained fishing grounds once the Brexit Implementation Period has ended. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. The UK government is making plans to ensure that our fishing grounds are protected from unlicensed fishing vessels and from overfishing once we regain control of our waters at 11 PM on the 31st of December 2020. So patrol cutters have been organised as well as air surveillance, and the Fisheries Bill, once enacted, will put everything on a statutory footing. But writing in the Express, Robert Oulds, the director of the Bruges Group, says that this won't be enough. He's calling for a new fleet of cutters ready to use the latest technology to locate, detain and impound encroaching foreign trawlers, as well as their catch. Because he is concerned that whatever agreement is signed, if any, before the transition period ends on December the 31st, 2021 could see the beginning of a cod war that will make our dispute with Iceland in the 1970s seem like a petty squabble. If we want to stop French boats from plundering our fish, we will need some assertive policing. And looking at the way the government has thus far dealt with a few rubber dinghies, you could be forgiven for being worried about how assertive they will really be on the issue of fishing. You know, lots of talk by ministers as our cutter force escort French, Belgian, Dutch and German trawlers safely in and out of our exclusive economic zone, with lots of waving from both sides and cheery radio calls saying, "Thank you for your assistance," etc. Maybe we could have some fisheries protection personnel twerking on the upper deck to entertain the non-UK fishermen and while away the time. Now, one of the things the EU fishermen might try to do is start a show of strength in the run-up to the end of the year, to try and fill the area with as many trawlers as possible, to give an indication to the UK government of the size of the headache they face. But as from the 1st of October, it becomes illegal for fishing vessels to operate within UK waters unless they are paying their crews the UK minimum wage. And as I explained in a video a while ago called "Preparing UK Fisheries for Brexit," the practice of massively underpaying and worse of what can only be described as forced labour in the fishing industry is widespread across the globe. And it does happen in the European Union, and yes, the UK too. And that forced labour is usually recruited from the ranks of the undocumented new arrivals. So with reasonable suspicion, any vessel could presumably be stopped, searched and the crew could be questioned, from October the 1st onwards. This could keep some EU fishing vessels away, especially as they could run the risk of having an underpaid crew member suddenly energetically waving and shouting at a UK cutter, so giving the cutter crew some reasonable suspicion. Or they could, conceivably, even just give the UK Coast Guard a ring on their mobile phone, with the energetically waving or phoning crew member hoping to swap their miserable onboard existence for some fancy 4-star living. Then there's the risk to the trawler operators and skippers of having a rival grass them up for it. So it looks like things will get interesting starting in about 5 or 6 weeks' time. And then when the provisions of the newly enacted Fisheries Bill come into force next year, the UK can then once again rule its own waves. But there are some MPs who do not want to see this happen. Well, you do surprise me, I hear you say. The Fisheries Bill is due back in the House of Commons for its second reading on the day MPs get back from their summer holes, or more likely their summer lockdown, and that's next Tuesday the 1st of September. The bill having already gone through the House of Lords procedure where it started its journey. And the leader of the SNP in Westminster, Ian Blackford, he of tweeting about the Prime Minister's holiday, Ian Blackford, together with 48 or so other like-minded MPs, has already put in an amendment to the second reading motion saying that this House declines to give a second reading to the Fisheries Bill before it is clear what kind of deal will be made with the EU after the end of the implementation period, and because the present approach of the bill fails to secure a long-term, sustainable future for the industry, balancing the interests of the environment, the consumer and the producers of this industry, which is so vital to the prosperity of fishing ports in Scotland, Wales and the rest of the United Kingdom. Here's some of the usual suspect co-signatories' names that you might recognise: Liz Saville-Roberts, Myra Black and Joanna Cherry. They don't appear to want the UK to take back control of its fishing grounds for the benefit of their own fishing communities. Good job Blackford won't have the numbers to get that motion through. He can only dream of the heady days of a hung parliament. But there is a motion being put forward on Wednesday the 2nd that I think most voters would want to see fully succeed. And that is the Recall of MPs, Change of Party Affiliation 10-minute rule motion, tabled by the Tory MP for Totnes, Anthony Mangnall. What this would presumably do is make an amendment to the Recall of MPs Act 2015, with the effect that if an MP crosses the floor to another party or leaves the party to become an independent, a recall petition would be triggered. And if enough voters in the MP's constituency signed that recall petition, then there would be a by-election. If you remember, the Recall Act was used to ditch from the green benches the ankle bracelet-wearing former Labour MP Fiona Onasanya. And given what happened in the run-up to Brexit, as their MPs did a party pick and mix, I think voters would heartily commend such a law. The trouble is, though, that this is a 10-minute motion to present a backbencher's bill, and these usually fail due to the lack of debating time, which is such a pity for something that would be well received by the electorate. Let's hope that Boris looks back at 2019 and then applies that learning to the potential wobbles from getting Brexit and/or the pandemic wrong, and gives this bill a fair wind. It might be a good move for him in the long run to support this bill, as it would give him elbow-twisting power should his MPs start to teeter. Maybe he should even take it on as a government bill. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the merchandise link in the descriptions box below. So what do you think about this thing with UK fisheries? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.